everybody. Hi. My name is BeauBrotherton. Nice to meet y'all if I haven't gotten to meet you yet. I'm going to be talking about our crazy life of converting a 16 by 48 shed into our full-time house. We live just about 2.5 hours south of here in Central Texas, and we have 4 kids, and so it's about, I say it's about 800 square feet, and yeah, all right. So here are my awesome kids and my beautiful wife, and then there's my YouTube channel right up there. Better Together Life. Do I?
Is that how we find you?
Yes, that is it. Wow. YouTube.com/Better Together Life. I don't hate money, so. You can also find us. We have a Facebook group, ShedToHouse. So those are the 2 main places.
It's a little small group.
It's small. Yeah, it's not. I mean, 70,000. I don't know. Is that big? I don't know what a big group is anymore.
That's big. That's
okay. Well.
That's big.
Awesome.
Huge. Everyone knows it.
Okay. Well, good. Okay. So I'm gonna steal. Where's Tim? Because I totally am stealing your agenda thing. Because I do believe, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you, and then I'm gonna tell you that. So I like the agenda.
You told us.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do that. Hopefully there'll be questions, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background info about, how we got to this weird, crazy life. I'm going to give you the options that we considered because this was, of course, I'm going to talk about Tim because the dome thing is rad. I just think that was cool, and I did not know that was even available back whenever we did this. So I thought that was cool. I'm going to give you photos, the entire thing. I don't have, everything is on video on our YouTube channel. I had no idea if things were going to work, so I don't have any video, but it's all on YouTube. But I have all the photos, like the entire process I'll show y'all. I'm going to go over some common questions because I get the same questions over and over again on YouTube, so I'm going to definitely go over that. And then I'm going to give you the full cost. I'm going to give you the cost of what we spent, because if you want the actual spreadsheet, I have that. It's on my website. So I'm going to go over that a little bit if we have time, and then I'm going to give you like a bare bones. Like if you don't want to do it the way that me and my wife did it, because my wife said, hey, if I'm going to move in a shed in the woods, I want it to look like exactly how she wanted it to look, how she wanted it to look, and so we spent a little bit more money, but we're super comfortable and we love it. Okay, so the background. There's me. I am the video geek. I am a video producer by trade. You're a video geek? Awesome. Oh, okay, you're just saying that. I like video stuff. So awesome, thank you. I worked as a video producer at a church, and then I also ran a video production business to where I served nonprofits and small businesses. I never would have thought that this was even something cool about gardening or prepping or anything. Like I read camera magazines, all of this stuff, live stream, like I was an insane video geek. I don't understand how I very quickly in just a blink of an eye did that. Also, I am an introverted video editor, so public speaking, it's not my thing. So I'm excited to do this to practice.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Okay, so has anybody ever seen this image?
Yeah.
Okay, it's on Mother Earth News. There's actually a book. I should have gotten the title of the book, but I think Mother Earth got it from this. This is what they call it, the sustainable 1 acre farm. It's kind of small, but there's cows or pigs, there's chickens, there's, you have a hay field. I don't know how you would do this on 1 acre, but this is cool. Just like that. Just like that. What do you mean? I have 7 acres, and it does not look like that yet.
It's in the picture. What you mean?
Exactly. So I think it was Christmas of 2014. I was the video geek. I went to my in-laws for Christmas, and I was just hanging out. And my brother-in-law is like a super hippie and wilderness guy. He has no care about farming or anything. He doesn't even know what permaculture is. I talked to him about it. He's like, Bo, I don't know. But for some reason, my mother-in-law bought this Mother Earth News magazine for him, and he didn't care about it. And so it was just laying there on the couch, and I grabbed it, and I just started thumbing through it, and I saw this image. I was like, what? What is this? like this is, and I just saw freedom. I really did. In the article, it talks about how, you know, you can lower your energy costs, your food costs, like everything. And I've always been that guy who wants to retire early. I was a self-employed video producer, and then I started working for a church, but it really was, I just had a cool boss, so I was able to do whatever I wanted to. And then I was called out of that to be, you know, full-time self-employed again. And then I saw this, and I just knew that this was my out of the typical 9 to 5, or even doing client work. I don't like client work. I just don't. I like being able to do my own work at my own time and make money from it. So I typically do client work from time to time, but it's not my favorite. Okay, so in 2015, we bought our 7.5 acres, and I bought it before I knew about Jack. So I bought this because I literally thought that the world was going to end. Like, no joke. Do you have anybody here of the blood moons of like 2015? I really thought that was something. I was like so certain that that something was gonna happen. I then after that learned about Jack, of, you know, preparing, like building that better life, whether times get tough or even if they don't. I am glad that we bought our property, because then 2020 happened and I feel a lot better. But so we bought that. So this is a direct quote from my wife. She said, "Yes, we can move to the country, away from my friends and all of the stores, all of the Costco's, the Targets, everything, but only if we can do it mortgage-free." So that was my goal. I was like, okay, I got the yes from the wife, but we have to do it mortgage-free. So that was in 2015. We didn't actually move until 2018, so it still took some time. There's a little image. Okay, I'm gonna say straight up, this has become a controversial topic about where you live, what kind of house. Just people get their feelings hurt because they watch some of my YouTube videos in terms of like, hey, you have your kids in, you know, sleeping lofts. You live in a shed. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool, but I'm just letting you know that I am not a contractor or a realtor or anything. This is just how we've been able to do it. So do your own research. I just felt the need to do that. Okay, so we knew that we wanted to move onto our property, but we also knew that we couldn't afford to build a second home while we were still living in suburbia, owning that home. So we were the owners of that home, so we knew that we were going to have to sell our suburban home and then take whatever kind of equity that we had and put that onto our new home. So we knew that we were probably going to have to do some sort of alternative housing, tiny house, you know, everything. Like, we just needed to do something different. I will be honest that I stumbled upon a niche, I don't know, I say it both ways, of this whole shed to house conversion thing on YouTube. And then I started a Facebook group, and it did blow up, and I started marketing and sharing about this option on YouTube. And it created a side hustle. So I'll be completely transparent that one of the reasons why we live in a shed to house is because I'm able to monetize our life. I make money with my house, which I think it's kind of cool, like a residual income from it. So once I started the YouTube channel and the Facebook group, we were still never 100% what we were going to do. We still didn't know. We were still living in suburbia. This was probably 2017. Actually, I think it was the first. No, it wasn't the first year. This was before. And so anyway, we just didn't know, because we first had 3 kids once I started the YouTube channel. Then my wife got pregnant. Then we had the 4th, and we weren't really sure if we were going to be able to fit everybody into this very small house. So here's our options that we had. The barndominium. I honestly think that it's probably the most versatile and easiest thing to do. It's a concrete slab. It's just a good option. We thought about it. But my wife wanted something slightly different. She wanted it to be kind of adventure. That's her personality. But it's a really cool option, a barndominium. I think it's probably the longest lasting. Be straight up honest. It's a good long-term investment. It's going to appreciate your property. There's nothing. And whenever we did this, I never thought, oh, you can make these barndominiums really small. So there's still people that do barndominiums in our Shed to House Facebook group, and I don't kick them out. It's still kind of like that small house living thing. It will raise your taxes just the same as any conventional home. So I guess that's a con. Tiny houses on wheels. I just did a talk on like tiny house conference online yesterday. So I got to see a lot of tiny houses, which was really cool. I think on the cool factor, tiny houses on wheels, I just think they're rad. I just think that and like the school buses, I think it's a cool idea. I call them semi-mobile for a tiny house on wheels. Depending on the size, like if you get one of the bigger ones, I don't think you're moving that thing every week. I just don't think they'll last. I think maybe if you move it once or twice a year, or if you have like a super big truck that can handle it and you're experienced with towing that. So that's why I call it semi-mobile. It's great for YouTube. So if it's something that you're thinking of the tiny house life or something, if you want to document it on YouTube, you'll be able to make a little bit of money from it. And so I think there is a monetization avenue for tiny houses on wheels. What I know, what we've been told, it doesn't increase your property taxes because it's on wheels. So as long as you keep it on wheels, then your property taxes should stay the same. Okay, for us, it was too small because we had 4 kids. And so tiny houses, I think as big as these get is like 8 feet wide, no, 8.5 feet wide. I actually just learned that yesterday, that's about as big as they really want to build them, is about 8.5 by 24 feet. That's the typical perfect size that these tiny house builders like to do. RV. We really thought about RV living. We thought about, traveling the country. It just wasn't something that my wife wanted to do. So for us, it was just not as cool. It wasn't what my wife wanted. And again, my wife was giving me the okay to move to the woods. So I had to kind of find a house that she was happy with. It's very mobile. You can move this thing anytime. It doesn't increase your property taxes because it's on wheels. Again, for us, it was too small. Mobile home. It was probably the most affordable price per square foot. You can get them big. You can get them ready to go. They're super fast. This is just, again, I keep saying this, it's just what my wife did not want. She did not want to live in a mobile home. I have nothing against it. I wanted to. I was like, we can start raising chickens and pigs right away. Let's do it. Let's do a mobile home. She said, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that.
We're all triggered.
I know, right? Okay, one reason why we didn't like the idea of a mobile home is because the research that we did is like you buy them new, and they're all gonna have all the finishes there, like done. Like so you'll see in a second, you're not gonna get our kitchen in a mobile home. It just doesn't make sense. My wife, she just likes, I keep on blaming my wife, that sucks. I love her, she's awesome. But it's like what Jack says, you gotta make that compromise, and this is the compromise that we went to. Okay, so we just didn't like the finishes of a mobile home. That's just for us. It will depreciate in value, so that was something. Okay, other options, shipping container homes. I think Tim went over all this cool stuff yesterday. A yurt. I thought a yurt would kind of be cool, but we live in Texas, so we didn't continue that. I did not know about the domes, man. Domes would have been cool. I don't know if I would have gotten the approval, but I think that they are really neat. The whole ICF, that was kind of after we started this process. There's lots of other things. So there's other options. Okay, this is our house. This is the Shed to House. Okay, Shed to House is just a marketing term. I came up with it, it's just a marketing term. Don't talk to the government, don't talk to your insurance company, say I live in a shed or anything like that. It's just a cabin. It's just a prefabbed building that you just call it a cabin, and that's what I always say. The Shed to House, it just sounds cooler online. Okay, so we were able to build this bigger than compared to a tiny house on wheels or an RV. I was just talking to them over there that there is a company here in Texas that they can actually deliver, as long as you can get through a gate, an 18 by 60.
Wow.
That's like they build it in their shop and they transport. They don't cut it in half. It's legit. It's only in Texas though. But so you can get them fairly big. Ours is 16 by 48. It was cool for us. This was like kind of on the cool factor. that it was the adventure thing that we wanted to do. We were just excited about this option. It is also pretty affordable. Now I'm saying it's affordable before COVID and all of the crazy lumber prices. I'll talk about that in a little bit later, but I think that's across the board. But there's companies that they will just build the shell, and then maybe they will put electric in it. I'll show you in a second. We have a studio where they actually did electric and the spray foam. But a lot of the times you'll just get the shell, and then if you're comfortable doing your electric, your plumbing, all the work, you can save a decent amount of money by doing it that way. And then you also get the shell, so you know that something is nice and square. I'm a terrible carpenter, so building it square, it just freaked me out. I didn't want to do it. We also had 4 kids living 3 hours away after we sold our house, so this was a nice little jump start to have the building done. It is very good for YouTube content creation because it's helped us. We pay about half of our bills with YouTube's doing good. We're paying a lot of bills with this, so this is nice. The elephant in the room is, yes, I do have sponsors for Shed to House, our Facebook group, so I'm just being completely transparent. Okay, so with Shed to House, we were able to get 2 sleeping lofts. So one side for our boys, the other side for our girls. And you'll see a little bit there. They are sleeping lofts. It's the peak from when you're standing on the floor is 5 feet. So I'm going to go over crazy stuff like that. But the whole point was for us to be outside, getting our kids outside playing and learning how to farm. Our taxes did go up this past year, but I think I'm going to protest it. I mean, I know I'm going to protest it, and I think I don't know. I think they're just looking at the information that they have from us, and then also any kind of like aerial stuff, because we have a big giant deck, which you'll see. So I hope that I can get that lowered a little bit. Depreciation value, it's still out. It's probably going to depreciate. I am not sure. We haven't really gotten anybody that has done something like this for 10 years and has tried to sell it. We also have not really had a lot of people to say, hey, I built this, and 2 or 3 years later, I sold it to a potential buyer that was able to get financing. So I'll just say we're not sure about that. The jury's still out on that. Okay, so we decided to go with the shed to house conversion. And one of the reasons, like I said, it was because the builder was able to do what's called 9-foot tall walls. And then what they do is they lower the top plate so that our bedroom is a little bit lower. It's about 7 foot high in our master bed. It's funny me saying master bedroom in this. But it's about 7 feet high so that the lofts are a little bit taller. Okay, this route allowed us to do a lot of the work ourselves to where we could monetize it on YouTube. It gave us an amazing opportunity to be able to do this with our family. I wasn't able to build stuff in suburbia with my kids. It's so cool. Just putting up shiplap with my son, using a nail gun, using a saw, a chop saw. What is that? Miter saw. It's a lot of fun. These are skills that I love my dad, but I just didn't learn this stuff with him. And so I'm excited that I can do this with my kids. These are built on a nice, strong, structure, 16-inch on center, nice, strong joists. It's a good built structure. Okay, who is this best for? Honestly, I'm going to say it's best for someone doing a bug out location or any kind of hunting cabin, a guest house, a backyard office. I mean, a lot of people probably are working from home now. I'm going to share a story about a buddy who worked at Google that they basically just said, go and do whatever you want for a year. And so he was working in San Francisco. Now he's down in Texas with his family. So having some sort of backyard office, I think that's going to raise property values really nice if you're trying to sell a suburban home and you can have one of these in your backyard. It's like, oh, wow, there's an office space right there. Airbnb rental property. And then the need to get on a homestead fast. Also, a mobile home will go really, really fast, but this is a different option. All right, build process. So here's the shell. So this is the back part of our house. and we just have a whole lot of windows, so it's really nice to have all those windows. Here's the front side. This right here, this is a big sliding glass door that we have. That is a look of what our kitchen was. And then you can see right here, this is our guest bathroom right there. There's stairs up to one loft. I don't really love how the construction went with the stairs. It's nice and solid, but behind it, it's just super ugly. These are the first time that these guys did stairs. They could have done better, but it works, and it's solid. There is the bathroom. There's a look of our master. So this is coming through our sliding glass door that goes into our bedroom. And then this is a fairly good sized closet space. A lot of these small houses, what you'll hear people say is, I don't even have a closet. So the fact that we have a closet, it's actually big enough, if you have kids, like if you are familiar with a pack and play, like our baby would fit directly. She actually slept for about 6 months in the pack and play in the closet. We didn't have like all the clothes or anything in there. So it was like her little room. But she doesn't sleep up there anymore, so we have more space. Okay, so there's a shot of the closet. There's our bathroom. I'll show you in a little bit, but our bathroom is still not finished because we're building our second building now. Yes, when we bought it, I did want to test and see if I could sit in an imaginary toilet and not hit my head because that goes underneath the stairs, and it works. So, like getting creative and using space. There's a look of where our glass door would be. There's another wide shot. If I'm going too fast, let me know. I just want to go fairly quick for questions. This looks super tiny. It's actually bigger than the photos make it look. There's one of the lofts. There's another angle. That's our living room there, and then right above. Another look there. A look of our living room. I actually did this, and I got this I don't know, Josh, if you told me this idea. Okay, it was you. Okay. Is it just, I like rigged up some tarps and just hung it over the loft, and then I had air conditioner there. So this was whenever we were building it. So I could actually get this fairly like cool in there, and this was in the summer. So it was a good idea. This is a look before, so I'll show you our shiplap ceiling here in a bit. So that's just a look of what the ceiling was. So this is them bringing our building in. It's a really fun thing of like just seeing this robot like move these. It's really neat. They call it I think they call it a mule. Yeah. Okay, there lots of mules and stuff, but yeah. It's just a neat thing to see this guy doing a remote control. It's really cool. Okay, so once our house was there, we dug our water line. We did the electrical. I did hire out the plumbing and the electrical. We had the money to do it, so if you want to save it, you can try to do this yourself. I was not comfortable doing all this. It was weird enough, me putting my family in a shed. I did not want it to, catch on fire, which yes, I'm going to get those things fixed. We had to have a repair, and there's a wire going underneath, and Sean said, like, a mouse is going to go up there and chew that wire. I'm like, so I got to get that fixed. Anyway, so we have, I didn't want a flood in our house, so we hired those out. There's a little look at the tub. Here's our septic. I don't know if anybody's interested in a septic, but I thought, do what? Yeah, I thought. Septic cartel. Yeah, like I thought this was kind of cool. How it's like these half cone things. So we just have a conventional septic field, and it works great. Super crazy expensive, a septic system. $7,200. For me, that was a big chunk. Okay, so we did spray foam. I will suggest to do closed cell spray foam. The first guy who did this did a great job, but for some reason he sold me closed cell underneath my house, but he wanted me to save money and do open cell everywhere else. I have since learned that I prefer closed cell. So our main house has closed cell underneath and then open cell everywhere else.
Oh. Why?
Yes. Why do I prefer closed?
Why?
It insulates better. In our studio, so I'll show you our mini split system. Our electric is higher than I would want in our main house. And then in our studio, we just have that same little window unit that I put in there, and it's all closed cell. and man, it gets cold in there. It's a smaller space without a lot of activity in there. So we have kids, so they're opening and closing the doors. So I feel, who knows, do you know about spray foam, Sean?
I don't know as much as to really speak intelligently about the difference between open and closed.
I things that I've learned about closed cell, that it's better if there's ever any moisture that comes in the house, that it wicks better. It's more expensive, closed cell.
So you know it's better.
Yeah. I don't know why the guy didn't say you should do closed cell, because whenever we did the studio, it wasn't that much. It was a little bit more, but I wish he would have told me that. I just trusted him. But, definitely not going to be redoing that in my main house. Okay. So I talked about rigid spray foam, that if this is a smaller structure, it's a little bit rigid. So some people say that it can give a little bit more structural integrity to your building if it just adds a little bit, more, strength. The open cell, I think, would help, but the closed cell is more rigid. All right, so I'm going to show you some of the favorite parts of our house. This is my wife's idea, doing the Joanna Gaines shiplap up in the ceiling. I think it came out pretty cool. So there's the ceiling, and there'll be more photos here in a bit. All right, and then we started building the deck. Josh, thank you, buddy, for coming and helping me build that. So here's a big shout out to Josh. For starting the deck build.
High five.
That's was something that my wife wanted, was big giant porches. So we have so our house is 48 feet. So on the front, we have a 12 by 48 foot porch. And on the back, we have a 10 by 48 foot porch. It costs a lot of money. So we have more outside living space with our porches than we actually do inside living space. And we built the back porch first because that is where our laundry room is. So we have an outside laundry room, and it works pretty good. I do need to close it up because in the summer, all of the yellow jackets and wasps come in there. So that was a bummer. So I got to figure out how to close it up. Okay, so there's a look of the porch process. There's a back porch. Then we started on the front porch.
At that point, why didn't you just go ahead and at least wrap it around on one side?
Because of our mini splits.
Okay.
So we have 2 units of our AC, heat and AC mini splits, and I probably could have done that. My wife wanted it, but I was like.
One I was thinking, sounds like she would be like, wow, we might as well just go ahead.
Exactly. But that was why, because we had the condensing units there, and so that's why.
What direction does the front of your house face?
The front of our house faces north. We spend the most of our time on there, and there was something that I got from you, Jack, as you once said, down here in the south, you probably would want it to be colder instead of trying to capture all of your winter heat. Yeah. So our summers are a little bit cooler on the front porch instead of us moving the house into a different location on the property so that the front of our house faced south. Does that make sense? So we took that. Now the back of our house does face south. Although we don't get a whole lot of sun, that exposure in the winter because of the big giant porches. I have seen something with, I forgot it. He's the guy in Arizona that cuts the curbs. Brad Lancaster. He has a thing to where his his south-facing porch folds up to where it can then let all the sun in. It's really cool. Maybe I'll do that someday, but it's a lot of work. But so it is a cool idea. Okay, so there's the porch. All right, so here is me while they were doing some of the porch. I did do soundproof insulation underneath the lofts because we have kids and they just run back and forth, and it really helped. And then you see the fart fan, because I definitely agree that you definitely need an exhaust fan in these small houses because you want to get the moisture out of the house as much as you can. So it's just a rule in our house that fan stays on all the time. I could probably wire it to where it only happens whenever someone turns on a light, but I just want as much moisture. I just don't and you can just feel it. Whenever my kids take a shower and the fan isn't on, you just feel all that moisture get stuck. And in a bigger house, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Although my in-laws have a really big house, but in their guest bathroom, you see the paint start peeling off. And so I want to get as much moisture out of my house as possible. So I have a dehumidifier running. Also, okay, then I insulated underneath the lofts. 2 tips, you need a fart fan. Okay, what is that? All right. You definitely need a fart fan because tiny houses are all fun and games until someone drops a deuce. Okay, so this is after we did the drywall. I had to go out of town when the drywall was going up, so we just came back and this is the drywall. Shows more of that. Sorry, these are bad photos. I had to capture them from video and it just didn't really work that well. So here's a look at the bathroom prior. There's a bathroom. There's our bedroom with the closet. There's a bad photo of one of the lofts. There's the other loft so that the kids don't fall off. I actually have a board at that opening just because I don't trust my kids and them doing Superman.
What was the reasoning for leaving the gap between the last piece of shiplap and the top of the drywall?
Because, let me see if I can go back to that. Okay, so I wanted the ceiling shiplap to overlap the drywall. Okay. So we did that much, then we knew we left one run, did the drywall, and then you'll see it being finished. There's still a lot of trim that needs to be finished here. Okay, where are we? There's that. Okay, so that's a look at the outdoor laundry room. So then you'll see, come out the back door, then that's where our laundry room is. There it is finished. There's the back. Sorry, Josh, for all my messy tools back there. This is the best photo I could find to be able to show our laundry room. It actually is a nice size. Our laundry room here is bigger than our laundry room in suburbia. Okay, so this was the first day us walking into our house. This was 2 years ago. So my anniversary is tomorrow, and my wife and I anniversary is tomorrow, and we actually moved in on our anniversary 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago when I was here at TSB 2018. And I hadn't seen my wife in 6 weeks because I was building this, and then I went and got her and we came back. Here's a look. This is our first Christmas. I say that it's roughing it. A lot of people rough it a lot more than this, but we had little bunk beds. We all slept on the floor for about a month. I know it was probably like 2 months until we got things going. We went and just cut down a cedar tree. I recommend if you cut down a cedar tree, make sure you treat it because all the bugs are coming in. But it was fun seeing all the praying mantises. The kids loved it.
I always say leave it outside for 24 hours first because it smells like pee. It's like one day.
Yeah.
And then it's fine. Like cat, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Okay, so here's Kelly, my wife, doing the tile in our guest bathroom. I think she did a really good job. We did hire that out. We did not do that. So my buddy, who was a contractor, helped us do the tile for that, and it came out well. Here's the start of our kitchen. She wanted an IKEA kitchen, and I said, yes, ma'am. That was a compromise, and we're happy with it. It's been 2 years, and it's still doing great. I didn't think that an IKEA it's different than the normal IKEA. It's a lot better quality, so we're happy with it. There's the progress of the kitchen. Nice. You'll see here, this is the little island that we had, and then you'll soon see that we rebuilt another island that I actually have all the paneling to finish that out whenever I get back in town. There you see, that's whenever I finish the shiplap, so you don't see all the foam exposed. I built this. I took the extra shiplap from the ceiling and built a barn door. I don't really recommend a barn door for a bathroom. We wanted a pocket door, so our other 2 doors are pocket doors. I just didn't communicate with the builder enough, so that's a supporting wall, so you'd have to take some of it out in order to do the pocket door. And I was like, is this going to void the warranty? He goes, yeah, probably. I was like, Well, then no. So I just did a barn door, but it does a pretty decent job. Okay, so Kelly wanted to have this cable railing in the front, which I think came out really cool, and then we matched it inside. She still hasn't figured out what she wants for the stairs, so the stairs are unfinished. So we just did lowers to be able to save money for our kitchen. So we don't have any upper cabinets. So this was our thought, to save money and just do open shelving.
That's nice.
So now you're about to see the mostly finished version of it. Here's the front porch. There's the living room.
Nice.
It came out pretty cool. We built the little bookshelves over there. There's a look of the main house. There's the shiplap ceiling. Eventually, I'm going to facade those beams, but it's not a priority yet.
Looks good like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't like the.
She'll make it a priority.
I hope so. I just don't like the metal part, but I can just do that. But I think that's kind of the look that we weren't really planning, is that natural wood with all the white that we have, but it works. We have 2 big ceiling fans that just help out a ton, and I'm about to turn them reverse. I learned that from you 2 years ago. Clean them first before you make them reverse.
Yes.
That is a look of our very clean porch. It never looks like this because we have kids.
Is it like an extra living room on the porch when the weather's nice?
Oh yeah, they ride their scooters up and down. I probably should have done. So we just got 12-foot boards to do them, this way. But if I would have run them that way, it would have been a lot better. My wife Kelly says that she recommended that she wanted them the other way, and I didn't listen evidently. So I think it would have been better.
Thing?
Do I?
That's a thing?
Yes. This is a lot easier for sure. I mean, I think to me it was, but I don't know. Okay. So there's another look.
Panel on the house.
Do what?
It matches the house panel.
Yeah. So there's a look at the sliding glass door where it had a hole. They didn't put that in whenever they were delivering it because it just raises too much potential for it to mess up.
I'd live on that swing right there.
Dude, we love it. It's awesome. Actually, this is from our house down in Houston, in Katy. We demolished a deck because we had to redo it because it was rotting. It just wasn't doing good. So we had a gazebo, but we saw that and we were like, let's keep that, put it in the garage, and we'll take it up to the country. And it works. We just need to repaint it. There's a look at the front. Little swing. We have this cool big tree. It's still alive, Nick. That tree did not die. So I know, I'm happy about it. There's a look at the side. It is on blocks. We'll eventually skirt all around it. It's just priorities. It's just lower on the priority list to do the skirting. There's a look of the cable railing. I have all the footage for this. I just need to edit the video to do the cable railing because I think it looks cool.
Did you use a compression fitting to
No, I just used bolt cutters and just didn't do it all the way down. You should, it'd be better, but you just kind of barely clamp it and it works. So you clamp it down on that end, and then there's a turnbuckle on the other end. So you just pull it and it works. There's a look at the living room. There's that. Sorry, I'm going fast. I just don't want to bore everybody, but we still have to do the exhaust fan. I'm probably going to do that in the next couple of weeks because I have that same buddy who's a contractor is going to come back and help me with the studio.
Do y'all eat at the island?
Oh yeah. Oh, I did not show the island. Sorry. Is that there? Maybe I'll show. I think that comes up in a bit. Okay, there's the island. I just went and bought a Home Depot pre-built cabinet, like kitchen cabinet. Put it there, and then we actually are going to extend it. So on this end, so now I have 2 2x4s. This thing is built like a tank because I was nervous and I did it. But what we'll eventually have is that's just some melamine.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to eventually do quartz to match that on this.
Hey, do concrete.
It's trying to match what's already there, man.
I mean, yeah, we're just excited about the the white. It really, for the small space, the whiteness makes it feel bigger. So then we'll have a leaf that comes out so that right now our kids can sit, but me and Kelly just have to stand, which is okay. But we'll eventually have a leaf that comes out so that everybody can sit. There's another look. And so we're probably going to do beadboard around it for the facing. I think she wants to paint it something that I don't know yet. She takes a lot of time, but whenever she decides what she wants, I try to make it. There's another look at it. Again, we'll have the kitchen exhaust. There's a look at the other loft there, the stairs. Excited about the studio because, how am I on time?
You've got 15 minutes.
Okay. Okay, let me go fast. Okay, we love this. So we don't have a TV. The whole point was to move to the country to get our kids off of devices. And so every Friday night we do family movie night and make sourdough pizza. Sorry, Dr. Barry, we do pizza. But it is sourdough, so it's fermented. I don't know. So anyway, so we have the projector is right here, and then it shoots there. And so whenever the screen is up, the kids know that, no, don't ask to watch a movie. So there's our hallway to our bedroom. There's the bathroom. This is a king-size bed, so we do have a king-size bed in a pretty small house. It does fit. There's a closet. I already have the trim up on that, but I don't have that in the photo, but the trim for that. So there's that inside looking out. Here is how we heat and cool the house, is these Mr. Cool mini splits. It is electric. I wish it was propane. That'd be awesome, but they do a really good job. So we have 2 units that each serve 2 heads, I guess. So there's 1 head in our bedroom, and then a big one in our living room, and then 1 in each of the sleeping lofts. This is our little girls are now sleeping in this, so I don't have a photo of their beds in there. And then here's a shot of like where we had 3 beds in the loft, and it fits, you know. And our 10-year-old can still stand up. But we have to figure that out. All right, there's a look on the front. Okay, I'm going to quickly go through the studio. So this was, I've always said that, you know, when people say, is it hard to live in one of these with, you know, 4 kids? And I say it's really not that big of a deal until mom works from home, dad works from home, and you homeschool at home. Then it gets a little tight. So we struck a deal and got a sponsor, and we're doing the Shed to Studio. And so this was my first day being able to kind of work in there. Here's some look. We now have all the shiplap on the main walls, not in the ceiling yet. There's Kelly. So this is what it looks like right now with the ship. So we're just doing shiplap in every wall for this. So this has closed cell spray foam. I didn't want to have to do drywall because then I can save money. Better for YouTube, the content, and it allows that my kids can help me build it versus like doing drywall. My 8-year-old's not going to help me do drywall, and I would suck at it. I think it's an art, so that I didn't want to try to do. There's just a split version of one side. So this is a 336 square foot building. It is 14 by 24. And so I don't think I have a photo. Basically, you walk out our back door and then straight to the studio.
It's a long commute.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't connect them. We wanted to connect them with a porch, but the home insurance says that if we did that, our rate would go up $40 a month. And so we just thought about it, and we're like, all right, fine. So we're just gonna have stairs down. So basically, if you have grass in between, then you save money. If you connect them at all, then it's called it's an extension of your main dwelling.
You should build some elaborate garden right in between with like a gap of 1 inch.
Yeah.
Does a drawbridge count?
Yeah.
A temporary, movable.
My thought is just the case that there is a fire or something. I guess that's why, is because they don't want it connecting because of their fire. This is just a shot because I was going through photos and thought it was cool. Like this is my life. This is why we did this, is to be mortgage free and just kind of hang out. We eat by the fire all the time, work from home. It's just we love it. It's an awesome life. Okay, burning questions. We're going to go through this fast, and then if you have any real questions. What are you going to do when your kids grow too big for the lofts? That's the top question besides how much does it cost that we always get. It's not a bad question. I mean, it's something that we talked a whole lot about. We were really going to do a barnuminium, but the fact that we got the lofts to be a little bit taller, we went the adventure route and did this. So the photos look a lot smaller than they actually are in real life, but still, like whenever I go in there, I do have to do this. So it is just a sleeping loft.
That's right.
Yeah. Do I?
Bingo.
Yes. So our kids, yeah, they go up there and they sleep. It's super comfortable. It's climate controlled up there. They when friends come over, they don't leave the lofts. Like the little kids come up there, they just think it's so fun. When we were building it and their lofts weren't ready, we would sleep up there with all four of them, and it was the most coziest space. Like we just put all of their beds on the ground, and I mean we did that for probably 2 months when we first moved in. It was the best sleeps I've ever had because it's just so cozy. I don't know, it's just fun. And our kids are never really up there during the day. It's, so they're always outside. Also, we designed the 2 giant decks so to extend that outside living space, so it makes it feel a lot bigger. There are many tiny houses on wheels that even the adults sleep up in sleeping lofts, so I didn't think that was that controversial, but I'm always afraid that CPS, where's Patrick? He and I talk about it all the time. I'm like, I don't know, I'm afraid of and also we wanted that adventure, so that's why we went with this. And this is what I like the best is, again, my dad didn't teach me all these hard skills of construction whenever I was little. Like, I just think it would be really rad to be like a 14 or 15-year-old kid, and instead of saving up money to buy your house, to buy your car, your parents partner with you to build your own house. Yeah. If you're like a teenager and you build your own house, like you're a stud. I just think that is the coolest thing I think it's rad. My 8-year-old is already saying, like, Dad, when we build my house, can we do it on wheels? Because he's like, so I can take it when I move? I'm like, sure, buddy. Yeah. Okay. Also, we have options. We can enclose the back porch if we wanted to. We have the big porches if we wanted to do it ghetto, but do it country. We don't have any building codes. If we wanted to actually enclose one of those porches, we could to extend that space. And then also for anybody looking at it, if you're in Texas or Mississippi, the company that we got our studio from, they can do an on-site build. They can build a full 2-story. Are these legal? Depends on where you live. I think Tim was talking about that as, just live in a county that doesn't have building codes, live in unincorporated land. That's what I was saying. That's Jack's stuff. The only permit we had was just for the septic. And I believe if we just wanted to do composting toilets, we wouldn't have to do that at all. I think. I don't know.
You're required to have one if it's a residence, a septic. There's a septic mafia that probably has a big lobbying firm. And you can't just you can do a composting toilet and not use the septic, but you still have to get the damn septic, or at least you have to get the permit.
I know my neighbor does not have a septic.
He's an agorist.
He is. They live in, like, I thought that we were slumming it. I mean, you get to live wherever you want, but like they are fully off grid, and they live there without any insulation. It's a metal building. I don't understand it, but it's not how we want. They don't have kids, but they have composting toilet.
Nobody knows they live there.
I guess.
I know, but that doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, I do have a guy in our ShedToHouse member Facebook group that he started building. He was starting to put in his kitchen cabinets, and then he didn't read his mail, and he got annexed. And so they put in a minimum square footage. So just always be aware, read your mail, that getting annexed is a possibility.
It's a terrible thing.
It is. Okay, what happens if I get hit by a tornado? And this is before I knew about the domes. I wrote this. So it's in my opinion that if you get hit by a tornado in most houses, it's not a good day no matter what. So something's going to happen, except unless you live in a dome.
Unless you're Tim.
Unless you're Tim. I will say that we are planning to get a storm shelter just for that just in case possibility. They are rated for 150 mile an hour winds, so I think most hurricane. I probably wouldn't do this in Galveston. So
They're not rated for the projectiles that wind's carrying, though.
that would make sense. You're correct. Yeah. We had I guess there was. I don't know. We've had really heavy storms, and I hear the wind, but I don't feel it. And I even felt it in my suburban home. So I don't know if I don't know. But I hope that it's because of the big decks that we did that are, I don't know. So that's something, do your own research about that. Did I do all the work myself? No, I hired a lot of that out. So I hired the plumbing, the electrical, the septic. You have to have a licensed septic installer or maybe that. You're allowed to do it yourself, but you're not allowed to have a professional help you. Okay, and then IKEA installed our kitchen. You could do that yourself. You can just buy all the IKEA parts and put it together. We had 4 kids, and so we decided to outsource that. Okay, can you get insurance? Yep, we had no problem getting insurance. So I'd actually like to shop it around to try to see if I can get a better rate, but we have home insurance. And we have home insurance for our studio as well. Lumber prices, I have no clue about this right now. The last time I priced it, they're 3 times what they usually are. I think that's just new home builds all across, unless you have a concrete dome is concrete higher?
I would imagine concrete.
Everything's
Okay.
higher.
All right.
That's actually why I bought. Somebody had built a shed in their backyard. That's why I didn't buy a building and finish. It was one of the reasons. Because I saved on finished costs.
Yeah.
I didn't have to buy all that stuff.
Yeah, so maybe, so we're gonna put a half wraparound, so on 2 sides for our studio. We're just gonna wait, and hopefully prices come down, I hope, next year. So yeah, I don't know how expensive. So let's do the how much. Totally depends. So you can't read that. Can you see that? Okay. So this is a breakdown for our septic, electric to the house, water meter, water run to the meter, propane service. So, the septic and the water, so we had the water hook up there just because nobody's ever lived on our property before, just to actually screw in a water meter was $4,200. Yep. We tried to get, we got 3 or 4 quotes for a well, and it averaged $22,000 between all of those quotes. We'd have to go 900 feet. I always tell the joke that Bruce Willis had to only have to go 800 feet to blow up a meteor, but I'd have to go 900 feet to get water. So that's why we went with the municipal water. It's like a co-op. Okay, I'm gonna do this real quick. Let me switch over to this. Ain't that big. See how big I can make it. Okay, so I did this really weird thing. So I did our actual cost versus a cheap way that you could do it. I assume, my neighbor did it without a septic, so you could save money there.
He's off grid if you don't tie into stuff.
Yeah.
May not look.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, if he's not on city water, the parts
Yeah.
really don't.
Oh, sorry, yeah, here. Would y'all rather see what it is? Let me see, can I go a little bit smaller? Can you still see?
No.
Is that too small?
Where did
Okay,
it go?
let's go.
So small, can't even tell it's there.
Okay, I'm gonna give you so you can see the numbers, and I'll try to go back and forth. So then we did have to do internet hookup, so that was $700 to put in like a big old tower pole thing. So if you went with Elon Musk stuff, if that happens, then you could save money there. Here is, those are the hard costs that really I don't think most people are gonna have to have those costs no matter what. Also, all of this is on my website, bettertogetherlife.com/report. You do just put your email in and I send you the report, so you get this. So if you want to get all this stuff, it's there, bettertogetherlife.com/report. So the house pad, It cost us like $1,200. I guess you could go cheaper on that. I would suggest, how are you done?
minutes.
Okay. Do y'all want to go through the prices or do you want to ask any questions?
Give us the total.
Okay. Great. So this is how much it cost us. $6,500 for about 800 square foot. I'm sorry, 65,000. And that does not include the deck. So we spent a lot of money. That's also just what we wanted to do. I ran these numbers to where you possibly could do it on the cheap and maybe do it under 40. You do all the work yourself. And this is something that I just roughed it. So I don't know. So I think it is something. Do what?
It's probably right. It makes sense.
Yeah.
The ratios are there.
Yeah.
Right now, the building.
That's not including increased lumber prices.
Just wait to see
Yeah.
how it goes down.
Park model RVs are 400 square feet, and you can get a decent one new for 65, 70K. You'll have twice as much space. They're 400 square feet or $399,
Yeah. So I think we're.
and it's custom.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only thing that I say that I'm kind of slightly don't sleep quite as great, especially after I saw Tim's presentation of the tornado-proof termite. Like, that's a cool thing. I think that that's cool. We like the look of it. You know, us personally, we think that it just looks cool. Let me see. Land clearing, if you didn't have to do any of that. There's our deck. And so this was normal prices. It cost us $11,000 for our front and back deck, and that included our outside laundry room. That doesn't include the appliances. So our decks are giant, and they cost a lot of money. But so you don't have to do that. But yeah, that's it. Really, this is what I would focus on. Is I think that for our size, this is about as cheap as you could get it. Okay, and I think my time is up. Is there any questions? No.
We have time for one.
One question.
Anything?
You need any like major errors that like either
Yeah.
you found in the middle or like now that it's done you're like, oh man.
Yeah, I think I made a video on that, the top mistakes to avoid.
That was a
I
good
wish,
video.
I wish I would have done concrete pier and beam in the ground. That would have been good. I was not comfortable with thinking that I was gonna be able to do it all perfectly for whenever the house came and the skids sat right on there. I was just nervous about that. Also, the company was like, we'll do the blocking package, and then we did a gravel pad. So I think the worst case you would do is just put the center blocks directly on the dirt. We at least did a raised gravel pad, and then the center blocks are on there. It also are.
The cap blocks or the actual like figure 8 blocks?
No, that's the other thing. Like, I wish that they would have done the giant cap. It's the size of the cinder block cap.
Yeah.
8 by 16 by 2 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think the big giant one makes a difference, but it just looks maybe better.
Looks more stable.
I think, to me it does. I don't know, but we've been there 2 years, and yeah. So that and spray foam. I wish I would have done closed cell spray foam. So those are the top 2 mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you both. Okay.